everyone. Today I'm reviewing Night of the Giant Everything, the second book in the Hall of Horror series. And this is a first time read for me. I have not read this one before. And this one is basically about this kid named Steven. He's into magic and stuff, like a lot of Goosebumps characters. And he joins this talent show that's taking place at his school. And he performs his magic acts up on stage. This happens within the first few chapters. And during his last little performance he does, which is juggling, and then he also takes a drink of water while juggling. And what happens is one of his friends holds the glass of water up for him to drink while he's juggling these balls. And he ends up coughing and spitting out. It's not water that he drinks. And he's like gagging and everything. And he says to his friend, like, "What did you put in that glass? Like, what did you give me?" And she tells him that it's chemicals that she mixed up from the science lab, and her and her other friend are laughing their heads off. And he's like freaking out and stuff. And he runs off the stage and ends up running all the way home. And he's like, freaking out and his throat's burning and everything. Now, to be fair, because this is basically just like a prank they pull on their friend Steven. They don't actually give him chemicals. But to be fair, Steven was mean to his friends earlier in the story to kind of set up for this. He pulls some pranks on them and is like kind of toying and joking around with them and stuff. So he kind of had this coming, this little prank he got on him. But yeah, so he runs all the way home, which is kind of weird, not exactly super believable that he would leave school surrounded by a bunch of people that could possibly help him if he did believe that he was, ingested chemicals. But instead he runs all the way home where nobody is home to be by himself, which sets up for the rest of the story. But again, not a super believable action. So anyways, after he gets home, he starts feeling strange. And then he runs to the bathroom to go look in the mirror, and he begins shrinking. He is growing smaller. This is not a spoiler or anything. This happens very early in the story, and it's revealed in the synopsis on the back of the book. But yeah, he begins shrinking down to between 6 and 9 inches in height. His height is referred to a couple times in the story, but it's never revealed exactly what it is, but it's around there. And then from there, we have a pretty typical tale where Steven is trying to survive as a miniature person and is just facing all of the typical dangers that go along with that, and as he tries to figure out how to return to his normal size. So yeah, my thoughts on this book is pretty much what I already said. It's pretty typical. This feels like a book I've read before, even though I haven't. I've never read this one before, but I feel like I've read it a million times. Now, the whole shrinking kind of story is something that's been done a lot in movies and other books, and here, it just doesn't really offer anything new. It doesn't bring anything new or unique to the table. I'm not going to spoil too much, but Steven does face some dangers of going up against bugs and other critters that are now giant to him. And everything is kind of life-threatening as he moves around the house and has to avoid certain things and trying to climb up his bed and everything, and trying to figure out how he's going to get back to normal size. And it's okay for the most part, this book. It's not bad or anything. I don't hate it. It's just kind of boring to me because, again, it just feels like something I've read before. There's really not anything super original going on with this plot of him being small. It's just a fun little book, I guess. But yeah, that's really my main complaint with it is it's just not very original. It just feels kind of uninspired to me for an idea that's been done to death already. If someone were reading this book for their first time, or reading this as their first Goosebumps book is what I mean to say, I can see how they might enjoy it a lot more. Someone who's not been exposed to the whole shrinking story as much throughout their lifetime as I have, I could see how someone would enjoy this book. But to me, it just doesn't really do anything. And then we start to get towards the end, and he kind of figures out how to get back to his normal size. There's a couple fake out twists, which R.L. Stine loves to do. He'll go one way and make you think that the reveal is, heading one direction, and then he switches it around real fast and does something else instead. There's a couple of those in here. Unfortunately, one of the fake out twists that we get, I actually liked better as an explanation than the one we end up getting. The one we end up getting is super cliche, something that's been done a bunch already. It just kind of goes along with the rest of the story in regards to how I feel about it just being... I keep repeating myself, but yeah, you guys get the picture. But yeah, the one fake out twist was actually kind of creepy and kind of messed up, and I kind of liked the direction he was going with that, and I thought that's what he was going to do, and I will admit that it did have me fooled for a minute. I thought he was going in a certain direction with it, and then he switched it around. It's just, I wish he would have stayed going with it, because that explanation was creepier, it was cooler, I like that one better, but then he's like, nope, we're doing something else instead, so yeah. And then, at the very end, as you guys know, Goosebumps always have multiple twists. It's never just one twist at the end. Sometimes there's 2, 3, sometimes more than that. But the very last little twist at the end of the book, like in the last couple of sentences, is very lazy in this book. It's not bad. It's not horrible or anything like that. It's just very lazy. Like, R.L. Stine just did not put very much thought into it. It's just a very... I don't know, guys. I think it's there just to add a little bit more humor to the book. But it's just, yeah, it's not even really a twist. Like, it's not something that affects the story a whole lot. It doesn't switch or change the outcome of the story a lot. It's just there to add a little bit of extra humor. But it's just kind of lazy. It's not really anything special or... So, yeah. That's pretty much all I have to say for this one, to be honest. I don't really have too much else to say about it, just because it just feels like something I've read before, guys. There's really not a lot going on here that's new or unique, like I already said, and I know I'm kind of repeating myself at this point, so yeah, this is probably a good place to end this review. Hopefully none of the Hall of Horrors books are worse than this one. Like I said, I didn't hate it, I didn't think it was horrible, I just didn't care for it. This book really did not do anything for me, so I'm going to settle on probably a 2 out of 5 stars for this one. So yeah, guys, that's my review for Night of the Giant Everything. I've actually already started the third one in the Hall of Horrors series, The Five Masks of Dr. Scream, and I'm actually enjoying that one so far, better than this one, so we'll see how that goes, though, because I'm only like 30 or 40 pages into that one. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching my review. Have a good day.